What is up, guys? It is Euruswin coming to you with another video. This one is not, however, a Stronghold video. This is a much-awaited Tips and Tricks 2. And the reason this video is coming out tonight is actually for this building right here that's almost about to be done building. Here's the thing. We've talked to you guys a couple of times about how important it is to get to Great Hall level 14. And the reason why is when you get to Great Hall level 14, you unlock that third barracks. As you can see, I got one up there, one out down there, and one over here. And not only does it allow you to train more units, but the training time for each of your units goes incredibly down. And this just ends up being a very large boost for you overall in your way to make armies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you an example of what I mean by that. And we're going to use a few boosts here. I'm going to have to use some runes, but that's fine. For the purpose of this video, I really want to explain to you guys how important this is. So if I went into recruit right now, we're just going to go through. I will go through them each a little slowly just so you can kind of see them here. Just how much time. Okay, I got 2 minutes. Perfect. Nope. Recruit. Wrong button. As you can see, there's 10 seconds on the Axeman for that guy. 15 seconds. As far as the recruit time, that's what I'm looking at. 20 seconds. Goes up to 5 minutes for the Golem. 3 minutes for a Ram. 8 minutes for a Caterkiller, 8 minutes for a Tempest. The Dragon is a half hour, 30 minutes, 3 minutes for an Eaglet, 40 seconds for a Wartlock, 15 seconds for a Gloob, 35 seconds for an Assassin, and 45 seconds for a Canoon. And this is with only one barracks operating. If your barracks are upgrading, they are not producing units, which means these bonuses that I'm about to show you are not in effect. So this is if I was running off a base with just one barracks at the very, very beginning of the game. How long does it take to produce a unit? But you can see right here in just a second, we're going to go ahead and watch this timer go down. I'm not going to waste a speed up on 1 minute and 16 seconds. However, you will see once it gets to that minute and 16 seconds, when I go back and I try to retrain my next set of units, the time for each of those units is going to go considerably down. So the ones that I picked out for this video, like I said, I'll go through all of them, but the ones I specifically picked out for this video to focus on are the ones that I use. The Dragon. Oops. The Canoon, and the Archer. So you can see 15 seconds, 45 seconds, and 30 minutes is what we're sitting at right now. But as this other barracks gets finished here in about 24 seconds, when I go back in and hit that the train button again, you will see that times go significantly down. And again, then we will go ahead and we will push this one over here through the last 14 hours and show you what unlocking that third barracks does for you. So we got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Barracks is complete. Now if I go over to my recruit button and I click on my Dragon, you can see it's down to 22 minutes. So across the board, it has gone down a lot. Oops, I started training some archers accidentally. We don't want to train you guys right now. No, go away. Trying to hit the eye. So, archers has dropped to 10 seconds instead of 15. I'll go through these again. Show you guys. You guys can look up some of these other units as you see fit. Go and pause the video, obviously, and look at whatever unit you're trying to get the information for. And this is with 2 barracks running, 2 out of the 3 active barracks. You can see the other unit that we are featuring right here is 22 minutes. So a whole 8 minutes has been shaved off of that Dragon. 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the Eaglet. 20 seconds over there. 10 seconds. 20 seconds, and the Canoon has dropped from 40 seconds to 30 seconds. So not big gaps for the Canoon and the Archer, but when you're making quite a few of these guys, it definitely adds up. 5 seconds times 20 units is a lot of time, so just keep that in mind. Now, like I said, we are going to go over here and we are going to go ahead and boost this through. I don't have enough speed ups. We are going to buy one 8-hour speed up over here. And then we're going to go ahead and use the rest of our speed ups that we have saved. Go ahead and switch over to our 15s now. Use some 5s. And there it is. But now, as you go into recruiting, you can see that the time for each of these units has dropped again. It now takes only 2 seconds to make a warrior, 5 seconds to make an archer, which when we started out was at 15 seconds. So literally a third of the time. Raiders have dropped, golems dropped to 2 minutes, which is less than half the time. Rams, minute 15, less than half the time again. 2 minutes, 25% of the time for these guys. Tempest is a little bit higher. But as you can see, the dragon drops to 18 minutes. That means if you have all 3 barracks running, you are making dragons in 18 minutes instead of 30 minutes, which is a considerable amount of difference. Some of these units, as you can see, don't have a great amount of change, like the eaglet is pretty close through all the levels. And lastly, the last featured unit is the canoons. Again, down from 45 to 25 seconds, but when you're making 10 of them, you're talking about a 15-second difference. That's a minute and a half in time. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're doing a lot of attacks or you're trying to get a last building and you need just a few more resources, making a quick back-to-back attack is sometimes a very beneficial thing to do. And the only way to do that is to make sure that all 3 of your barracks are up and running and that you are able to push out units quickly. The next thing we're going to talk about is, actually real quick before we do that, I have taught people like, hey, 14 is a great place to grow. 14 will give you access to the barracks. Once you get to this barracks, obviously take some time, grow, get your turrets up, get your rest of your buildings up, which actually brings me into my next point, which is always upgrade. Make sure you're upgrading your resource producing buildings. What are my resource producing buildings? Well, by that I mean my houses to produce gold, the lumber mills to produce wood, and the stone quarries to produce stone. And why? It's free resources. You go in, you check the game, you click on them, and they give you free resources just for tapping on them, which is great, especially when you get into some of the higher level buildings. It is great to have free resources that you don't have to necessarily attack for every time. One other thing to keep in mind is even when you upgrade the house, it doesn't necessarily mean that that citizen shows up right away. Sometimes, and especially for these ones, to get the houses to 12, it was over 3 days to build and then still another 3 days to get a citizen. So you're talking about a week from the time you actually start the building to the time that that next citizen comes out. I suggest putting the houses towards the beginning for that simple reason, because you still have to wait for the citizen to actually show up. However, make sure that you are upgrading those buildings because they're going to bring in free resources for you without you having to do any work. The next thing we're going to talk about is one of the new buildings that came out called the Charmery. I suggest upgrading this, investing in this as soon as possible. As you can see, I have all of my charms unlocked that are currently available in the game. I have been working on that since I got it on day 1, and these are great little perks, everywhere from 5% extra taxes in your gold, to lumber mills bringing in an extra 5% wood, to getting extra eagle tokens when you donate certain cars or certain items, discounts on buying cards. This one is very important. All the veteran statuses on your towers, giving them 7% more hit points, and there's one for your turrets. your mortars, and currently the last upgrade that was out was your barrel rockets. So adding an extra 7% in health to all of those buildings is definitely helpful. And it's also something to keep in mind when I do get to talking about some of the towers later. I'm not sure if that's actually reflected in the numbers, so if the numbers are a little bit different from what you're seeing, that is why, is because I have veteran status on all of my towers currently. All right, next. We are going to talk about one of the events that comes around every once in a while, and that is the Dr. Hoot event. And why this event is so important: it is very, very easy to get 30 feathers. And when you do, you will be awarded the choice to pick between one of these 5 prizes. Now, something to keep in consideration, keep it in the back of your mind. The middle one, the 20 15-minute speed ups, and the one on the right, 5 1 hour speed ups, both give you 5 hours worth of speed ups total. I don't remember exactly what it is, but the one on the left, the green one for 35 of the 5 minutes, I want to say it's like 2 hours and change. It's literally about half the reward. So make sure that if you do this Dr. Hoot event, you claim either the middle prize or the prize on the right. Either will give you the exact same amount of speed ups overall. And again, it's really, really simple. As soon as it becomes active, all you have to do is find 30 feathers, and they are all over the place once that event starts. It is very easy to find them. Get your 30, wait for the event, you get free speed ups. It is a super nice, super easy way to gain just a little bit of boost in that category. All right, before we go into our last big topic, we will go over one more thing, and that is just kind of how or what level some of the buildings are maxing out at for Great Hall level 14. I have been working tirelessly on my resource buildings, so I can tell you that for a fact at Great Hall level 14, your houses can only get up to level 12. It will give them the capacity to hold 14 citizens, which is way more than you need to upgrade to level 15 Great Hall. But as you can see, it won't let you make another upgrade, and all of my houses are done. The lumber mills, currently at Great Hall level 14, you can get your lumber mills up to 13. They cannot progress until 14 until the next Great Hall is unlocked. And you can see all the stats there. Go ahead and feel free to, look at that at your own free time. Stone quarries. These can go to level 8, and as you can see, obviously at level 16, it is going to get huge. The rate almost doubles, so looking forward to eventually one day getting to 16 and then upgrading those right away, although I will tell you what, stone is not something I ever have a problem bringing in, at least at this point in the game. I always am needing wood and gold, but stone, I don't really have to go out of my way to find it, to hit a treasure chest, to hit a base specifically for gold. Next is the lumber yards. This one is not maxed out. This one is. Alright. Lumber yards, max level currently at Great Hall level 14 is level 11. They cannot go up to 12 until they get upgraded again. Next is the turrets. Turrets can currently go up to 14 at Great Hall level 14. 15 is required for Great Hall 15 is required for level 15 turrets. Talked about the house, lumberyard, the mill. Oh, and last but not least, the last one I have currently maxed out is the treasuries. Treasuries can go up to 10 at Great Hall level 14. You need level 15 to upgrade them again. Now, some of the ones that I don't have maxed out, or any of them maxed out yet, like I said, I don't really have a need for stone. I haven't had a need to upgrade the storage, and as you can see, it's 700,000 wood, which I found much better uses for on all of my other buildings. It's just not something I've invested into, so I know it can go up a couple more times. The stone storage can. Next category I'll be working on will be all of my defensive turrets. So my mortars, my sentry towers. I don't have a maxed out barrel rocket yet. That's my highest one at level 10. I don't have the sniper cannons maxed out either. Highest one again at level 4 is right there with all the stats. Sentry posts, both of them are just at level 7 currently. And it's not that some of these take a lot of resources. Obviously, the anti-air ones are getting pretty expensive, and the sniper towers are. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit as far as cost and effectiveness of the turrets, because I have some information that I definitely need to rewrite from the first tips and tricks video. So without further ado, let's get into that big subject. Last time when I made my tips and tricks video, I kind of made a hierarchy for the turrets. I placed your sniper towers and your anti-air turrets up at the top. Mortars were in the middle. Turrets were down at the bottom, with sentries being, I think, the lowest is how I had that ranked up. However, I need to make a big addendum. And the reason why is because your mortars and your turrets definitely don't do nearly as much damage as the other towers. However, something to keep in mind is that they will have a considerable amount more HP, which means it's going to be a lot harder for these towers themselves to be taken down. If nothing else, we could use them as blockades, and I'll go into another video. I'm planning on making a base design video, doing some turret defenses and that kind of stuff. I've been playing around with a few designs. Kind of got a spread design right now. I'm not in love with it, so I'm probably going to fix it again. But for now, like I said, let's start with the sniper cannon. As you can see, it's got about 1400 health currently at the level I've got, but it does almost 400 damage, and the next level it will do over 400 damage. But as you can see, that bar of the health bar, it doesn't have a lot of room to grow. It looks like it's over halfway done with about 1400 health, meaning that this tower will probably max out around, I would say, 2500 health, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but it's going to be between about 2500 and 3500 total health for this building, even at the max level. Go over the anti-air, same thing, except it's got a lot less health. It's shooting for, almost 300 per shot. However, the health of this is just barely over 1,000 hit points. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because when you go into these mortars, it only has 1,300 HP so far. But look how much left of that hit point bar is to go. We've only got maybe a quarter of it, which means, in my estimations, you're looking at anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000, maybe even a little more or less. But it's going to be 6,000 to 8,000 hit points just in this mortar to take it down, which is an insane amount of points. If you think about a dragon, a level 8 dragon doing 123 damage, think how many times it's going to need to hit that tower. I actually have a visual representation set up for you, and this is the reason some of my turrets are like this. But the turrets at about level 13 is when they start getting a big HP boost. I haven't figured out which level it is for the mortars. I will let you guys know as soon as I do figure that out. But mortars have kind of been on the backbone of my list. I don't get attacked with nearly as many ground armies as I do air armies, so I've obviously been focusing on my anti-air towers and my regular turrets more. And this is the reason why I'm focusing on the anti-air turrets. You can see at level 10, it's got about 2,300 hit points. When I go up to level 11, it's going to give me an extra 407 hit points. And again, the damage is not really what we're looking at. We're looking at the HP on this guy, because obviously that damage is way low compared to a sniper tower or a sniper cannon or an anti-air tower. Barrel rocket, that's the word I'm looking for. Now let's go over this next level. You can see there, this is a level 11. At level 12, it'll gain another 235 hit points. But again, that's not a lot. We're looking at just under 3,000 hit points. However, look at how much hit points it gets at level 13. 1,156. That's literally over 33% of the current HP on that tower in one upgrade. I have done 12 other upgrades, and in one upgrade I am getting literally that much more. So it is insane. I suggest once you get to 13, work on having your resources come in, but definitely upgrade your turrets to level 13. It's going to make you so much stronger to defend against any kind of attack that comes your way because they have so much more HP. If you can look at this, this is a level 14 turret. Again, this is the max currently for my Great Hall level. But if you look at what it upgrades into, by the time it hits 15, this tower has 6,300 HP. I'm going to put something into perspective a little bit for you guys. We're going to do a little math for you, and I've already done the math, so just trust me on this. At level 12, if I have a level 12 tower going up against a level 8 dragon, the tower will take 21 hits to take that dragon down. The dragon needs to hit the tower 24 times. So it's pretty close. Your turret will win because your turret has a slightly larger range than the dragon. But that means at level 12, a one-on-one, unless you use a freeze spell, that dragon will not take down that turret by himself unless he has a buddy or a shield or somebody else that's causing damage. To put it even more in perspective, when you get to level 13, this isn't 13, but when you get to a level 13 tower, it takes only the damage of the turrets has gone up slightly, so instead of 21 hits, it only takes 19 or 18 or 19 shots. However, the dragons now have to hit it 34 times. That's an extra 10 hits that have to come out from the dragon to drop it. And as you can only guess, as it goes up and up and up, that gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I know your anti-air towers are going to be the ones that are doing most of the barrel rockets are going to be the ones that are doing most of the damage. However, you do not want to slouch on these turrets, especially these guys, because not only will they shoot both air and ground, but they have so much HP that they can stand as nice little barriers and distract an entire army. I have watched some of my dragon armies go up against high-powered turrets and get torn apart by these. They will rip through anti-air because of the low HP. When they get to these guys, they slow down because there's just so many hit points and it takes so long to bring it down. So, this is something I will say, hey, make sure you pay attention to this. I am reneging my statement saying, hey, those aren't worthless towers. Think of them as your tanks, your tank towers out on the field. They're not going to do a lot of damage, but they're going to be able to take a lot of damage and aggro so that the sniper towers or your barrel rockets can do a lot of damage. So I do suggest, and like I said, I'm going to be redoing my base here in a little bit and putting out a video for that, but I do suggest putting your turrets more to the outside of the base, letting them get hit first, and putting your the rest of your towers behind them so that they can tag while those other towers are being hit. Alright, let me just go ahead and make sure that I got everything taken care of that I wanted to in this video. In the meantime, I will go ahead and say thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you all learned anything. If you do have any questions, just go ahead and reach out to me in the game or here on the channel. I do try to check it every once in a while, although I'm not perfect with this. Usually only when a video goes up is when I'm checking. But at least I'm honest, but it's just kind of how it is. I do try to as much as but with the Discord and the game and life and everything else, it's a little hard to be in track of everything all at once. Yep, I did cover everything that I was going to cover here in this video. I do, again, hope that you guys learned something. I really hope that you take my advice to heart because, like I said, all of this is going to help you become even better of a player and continue to grow here with us in this guild. And with that, that is going to be the end of the video. Have a good night, everyone.